Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Okay, since today we don't have a face-to-face class, I prepared this recorded video for all of you to watch during the class hour. Okay, so the next chapter is about the building and managing human resources. In this chapter, I will explain about how managers can tailor the human resource management system to their strategy and structure. Okay, so we focus on a few components of human resource, which is recruitment and selection, training and development, performance appraisal, pay and benefits, and labor relations lah. Okay, so only for this we will focus for this component only. Okay, so I hope at the end of this chapter, so all of you will understand the role of human resources management play to create the high performing organization. Alright, so this is the learning objective. Okay, so what you will get at the end of this chapter, right? Okay, human resource. Okay, first you have to understand what is the human resource. Okay, so human resource is actually all activities, okay, that managers engage in to attract and retain the employees, okay, and also to make sure that all the employees perform at a high level and contribute to the accomplishment of the organizational goals. Okay, right, so that is a human resource management, HRM, to attract and retain and also to make sure that they perform at a high level, okay, so that they can accomplish the organizational goals. Okay, so strategic human resources is the process. Okay, so process by managers to process by the manager to design the components of HRM system. Okay, so that they have to make sure that all these human resources are aligned with the organizational goals and strategy. Okay, so generally the objective of strategic human resources management HRM is to enhance the efficiency, to provide the quality and also innovate and responsive of the competitive advantage. Right. Okay, so this is the components of a human resource management HRM system. Okay, 5 components. Okay, so there is a 5 components of human resource management system: recruitment and selection, training and development, performance appraisal and feedback, pay and benefits, and labor relation. Okay, so managers use recruitment and selection to attract and hire a new employees that have ability skills that can help the organization to achieve goals. Okay, so then managers need to be very careful to select the new employees so that they can contribute to the competitive advantage. After they recruit, okay, and select the employees so that they will train and develop the employees to ensure that the organizational members have the ability and skills that need by the organization. Okay. Training and development they need continuously because there is a changes in the technology, changes in the organizational goals, and also change in the strategies. Okay, depend from time to time. Okay, and then the HRM need a performance and feedback. We'll give the feedback, but we'll feedback to the employees. Okay, performance appraisal can help managers to make a good decision about the HRM, and also that feedback for that given to the employees will help employees to identify their strengths and also their weaknesses. pay and benefit. Okay, benefit are also such an importance for the employees. Okay, they need a pay, salary, pay, and also the benefit, additional either insurance, medicals, paid leave. Okay, so that is another important component in the HRM. The labor relations. Okay, that is steps which is that managers take to develop a good relation with the employees and also the labor unions which will represent their employees' interests. Okay, the managers need to make sure that all these 5 components is fit together, and also they are complement to all of this will complement to the company structure and the control system. Okay, all these 5 elements. Okay, all these 5 will influence each other. Okay, so they're not working separately. So recruitment, selection, influence training, and then influence training and development, and will influence the appraisal and feedback, how the organisation provide the pay and benefits to the employee, and also the relation with the union. Okay. Okay, so that is a legal. Okay, of course, in the HRM also there is a legal environment. Okay, there is a act or legal environment. So that the managers needs to fulfill all the laws and regulation by the local, states or national. Okay, so they must follow all this regulation and law. Okay. So this is all the legal for the HRM, either equal employment opportunity, to make sure that all citizens have the opportunity to obtain the employment. Doesn't matter what gender, what is their age, race, country, or they are disabled or not. Okay, so there is a equal employment opportunity. Now almost all country have this legal towards the HRM. Okay, so they just to make sure that everybody have the same opportunity. Okay, so this is the challenge because of this all, to make sure that the equality. Okay, so the challenge for the manager, okay, is that how to make sure, because women and men were working together, doesn't matter. So that how they make sure that they can eliminate the sexual harassment in their organisation. Okay, they have to make, if let's say if they hire the disabled person or employees, how they make sure that they provide accommodation for the employees, that we facilities, okay, to provide the facilities for employees with disabilities. Okay, how about how to deal with the employees who have the addiction. Okay, if the addicted person apply for this job, they cannot reject because of they addicted to drug, but they need to identify how they can deal with this person, and also how to manage the HIV positive or employees with AIDS. So this is the challenge for the manager, because there is a equality of right. Okay, so this is all the laws that related to HRM. Normally this is every country, they have their own law. Okay, so this is the law that related in US. Okay, right. Okay, so the first component in the HRM is recruitment and selection. Okay, so recruitment, what is recruitment? Recruitment is all the activities that managers engage. Okay, all the activity that managers engage to develop a pool of qualified candidates for that certain position open position. Okay, and then they select. Okay, after they do the recruitment, they pull all the qualified candidate and they do the selection. Okay, so the process that managers use to identify the qualified applicants. Okay, and also the process to identify the potential to perform well in that particular job. Okay, so they do some recruitment, identify the pools that qualify, and then they select from that pool too. They will select the most qualified persons to fulfill that particular job. Okay. So to do the recruitment and selection, before they do the recruitment, they need to identify the needs for the recruitment and the selection. How they can determine the needs of the recruitment and selection? By doing the human resource plan for the human resource, and do some job analysis. Okay, what needs, what skills that are required. So that is a job analysis. Okay, so that then only they can open the position and select the that the qualified employees to fulfill that position. Okay, planning, human resource planning, all the activities. Okay, so human resource planning, all the activities that managers have to engage to forecast current and future needs for their human resources. Okay, the currents. Okay, so currents human resource that employees that needs today. Okay, so what kind of what skills that they need today. Okay, and also they need to plan for the future. Okay, somewhat later, some later date. Okay, so what they need in the later, so they need to focus for now, current, and also for the future, next 3 years, next 5 years. Okay, right. Then they managers need to must make both forecast for demand and also supply. Okay, so we have to forecast both supply and demand. Okay, so demand forecast, which is the managers estimate the qualification and numbers of employees and organization will need based from the goals and the strategy. Okay, so that is a demand forecast. Supply forecast, estimate. Okay, so manager also need to estimate the availability and the qualification of the current employees now and in the future, and also the supply of the qualified employees. Okay, in the labor market. Okay, so they need to do this forecast. Okay, supply what they have now, what they need in the future, and how about the qualified workers in the labor market. Okay, so that is a human resource planning. And also that managers also sometimes when they plan, maybe they need probably they need to outsource. Okay, that job or position, they need to outsource to the third party. Okay, for the job or that position. Okay, right. So they give contract to others who not member in the organisation to provide the services or to produce the goods. Okay, maybe use contract workers. Okay, rather than the hiring that workers. Okay, the reason. Okay, so reason, this is two main reason why sometimes human resource managers outsource their human resource, because of the flexibility, and also that want to reduce the cost. By outsource them, maybe they can reduce the cost. They don't have to provide the training, development, whatever lah. Okay, so they just the third party only manage all the employees. Okay, alright. So however, the outsource also have the disadvantages. Okay, so probably that managers may lose some control. Okay, over the quality of the employees to perform the job. Okay, and then when they hire the third party, the external parties. Okay, so outside from the organisation, that individual maybe have less knowledge about the practices in organizational and also goals, and also they will have less commitment to the organisation. Okay, normally unions resist this outsource, because there is a possibility that managers need to eliminate some of the members in the organisation. Okay, Next, managers need to do job analysis, okay, need to before they can do the recruitment and selection, okay. So in the job analysis, they need to identify what is the task, duties, responsibilities that make up the job, okay, which is called as need to identify the job description, okay. So job description, what task, duties and responsibilities. And also need to identify the knowledge, skills and abilities need to perform the job, which is identify the job specification, okay. Right, so job analysis need to be done for each job that in the organisation, each position in the organisation, okay. Job analysis can be done or either observe what the current workers is doing, or maybe managers can ask or interview them, or to ask them to fill in the questionnaire, okay, about how they complete that job, what the skills that needs to perform the job, okay, amount of time that they have to spend on to complete that job, what is their responsibilities, okay, the activities, supervisory activities, what equipment that they use, okay, what kind of report they needs to prepare, and also what kind level of decision that they have to make. So that is the job analysis, okay. Either by observing, or managers can interview or ask them to fill out the questionnaires, okay. Recruitment also can be done externally or internally, okay. Right, so external recruitment, looking maybe that people from the outside organisation do the hiring for the firm, okay. Maybe through the newspaper advertisement, open, okay, you hire the people outside organisation, okay, not inside, okay. So normally we do recruitment process doing externally to doing the advertisement through the newspaper or through the open house, using on campus recruitment or through the internet, okay. So that is all the external, hire people from the outside, okay. Alright, so the advantage of the external recruiting ni, normally because they have a potential large applicant pools lah, they have large pool, okay, for the applicants, and they can get the attract the people that they have skills and the knowledge that desired, okay. The disadvantage of the external recruiting ni normally high cost, because they need to do advertisement, and the external recruits, the lack of the knowledge about the working condition in the organisation, okay. And they are uncertain about whether they actually will be good at performers or not, because they are external, they never been in the organisation, okay. Or can do the internal recruiting, okay. So internal recruiting where recruit internally, okay, existing employee, okay, to fill in the open position, okay. Existing employees fill in the open position, okay. So internal, maybe they are looking for a lateral move, okay, or change the job, but the same responsibility or same authority level or same payment, okay. Right, the advantage doing the internal recruiting, which is the internal applicant familiar with the organisation, and of course the managers know exactly about the candidates, how they will complete their job, okay. And by doing the internal recruiting, they can boost the level of employees motivation, and also the less time consuming and less expensive, okay. Right, the disadvantage is that pool of candidate might be very limited, and like probably there is a lack of suitable internal candidates lah, okay, because the pool is there's very small pool, Okay, so probability that you cannot find the candidate that can fulfill that job. Okay. This lateral move, which is job, you change the job, but same responsibility, same payment, same authority, okay, same level, but you change the job description. Okay, that is a lateral move. Okay, so the next that's recruitment selection. That's a selection process. Okay, which is the managers need to find out which applicant that qualified to fulfill that position, or to identify whether that applicant will be a good performer or not. Okay, let's say if multiple candidates meets the conditions, so that managers can determine which one is a better performer than the others. Okay, so that there is several tools to help the managers to identify the relevant relative qualification or qualified employees. Okay, so this is the tools. They do some background information, do some interviews or performance tests, do some physical ability tests, or paper and pencil tests, or based on the reference. Okay, this is the tools that can help the selection process. Background information, managers can obtain the background from the resume and the job applications. Okay, so normally this information background information will help to screen out the applicants who are lacking key qualification, and also can help to determine which applicants are more promising than the others. Okay, normally more organization will do this background checking. Okay, and sometimes they will use a system based to identify several keywords, okay, based on their resume. And then they can interview, okay, do the interview, call for the interview. Okay, almost majority of organization will use interview during the selection process. Interview ni can be done either structured or unstructured interview. Okay, structured ni managers ask same standard application. Structured, you have a question. Okay, unstructured more on the like ordinary conversation lah. Okay, just ask a few question background. Okay, ask a probing question to see what is the candidate like. Okay, alright. So normally structured interview ni are more better or superior compared to unstructured interview. Okay, because structured interview ni normally are likely to yield the information to identify the qualified candidate. Okay, and also less subjective because you have a structured question. Okay, and also that managers have to remember that during the interview process they cannot ask the question that irrelevant to the job, because the candidate can can sue or have a lawsuit towards the manager if they ask something's not relevant to the job. Okay, or maybe can do another tools is that using a paper and pencil test. Okay, paper and pencil test ni to test the ability, okay, the ability of the applicants that possess some necessary or necessary skills to perform that job. Okay, or they can do a personality test to measure the personality traits and characteristic applicants that relevant to the job performance. Okay, but not all jobs needs to do this personality test. Okay, before doing the paper and pencil test ni, the managers must have some evidence that doing this test actually are good predictors to identify the qualified candidates. Okay, so the next one is the physical ability test, to do the physical ability test. Normally this test suitable for firefighter, garbage collector. Okay, so those needs the physical requirement. Delivery. Okay, so to measure the strength and also the stamina of the candidate. Performance test measure job applicants' performance to complete the actual job. Okay, right? So they can assess, maybe do some a few days. The candidates will go to the assessment center to take the performance test. Okay, to participate in a variety of the activities. Okay. So to do it, by doing that all the activities too, the managers will observe the behavior and also to measure the performance, whether it's qualified or not. Reference. Okay, references ni using the former employees, the former teacher or lecturer. Okay, so or using the other sources who knows the applicant skills, abilities and also others. Okay, alright. Normally references ni are using at the end of the selection focus, just to confirm, okay, of decision. Okay, alright. And also that during the selection process ni, okay, manager, whatever tools that manager use ni, they have to make sure that all the tools are reliable and valid, have a reliability and validity. Okay, reliability ni which is the degree which tool to test measure the same thing each time it is managed. Okay, the tools is reliable, every candidate they will test the same thing. Okay, every time and every candidate. Okay, must be similar to every candidate. Okay, valid. Okay, validity, to which tool or test measure what it is supposed to measure. Okay, the measure, you want to interview what job, so the test will relevant to that job or that position. Okay, just that they cannot doing that randomly. Okay, it must be valid to test based on the job or based on the position. Okay, so the next component is training and development. Okay, so training and development to ensure the organisation members have the knowledge and skills to perform that job to effectively. Okay, and they are able to take new responsibility and also able to adapt to the changing conditions. Okay, training is primarily focus on the teaching the members how to perform the current jobs and helping them to acquire the knowledge and skills that they need to effectively perform. Okay, teaching them. Development ni focus more on building the knowledge and skills, okay, of the organisation members so that they can prepare to take on the new responsibility and the challenges. Okay, normally training ni use more at the lower level in the organisation. Okay, but development tends to be used more frequently with the professional and managers. Same as the recruitment, before managers create the training and development program, they should perform the needs assessment. Okay, so to determine which employees need the training or development on what type of skills they need to acquire, what type of knowledge they need to acquire. Okay, so they must do the needs assessment. Okay, identify the relevant person and the relevant skills. Okay, types of training. Two types of training. Okay, classroom instruction and on the job training. Classroom instruction, which is through the classroom instruction, employees will acquire the skills in a classroom setting. Okay, they can take place within or outside the organisation. Okay, in some organisation, they have established their own formal instructional division or maybe they refer to the college. KFC, they have their own college. Some they have their own college training center, or but in the classroom setting. Normally classroom ni using can have videos, role playing, or written materials, or doing some simulation. They have lectures or group discussion. Videos can demonstrate what is appropriate and inappropriate job behaviors. You can use that. Role playing, they can help employees to directly participate, or maybe they can watch others to perform actual job activities. Or simulation, they can in the like they duplicate closely the work setting. Very closely work setting, the actual work situation and job to complete. I can do the simulation. On the job training, that learning occurs in the work setting. In the work setting as employees perform their job tasks. Co-workers or normally supervisors can provide the job training. Right, so during they will show them how to complete the job. Managers normally often use the job training continuous basis. We use this as a continuous basis, just to make sure that all the subordinates keep up to date with changes in the goals, technology, or others or customer needs and desires. Development, types of development. Types of development, they have two types of development. Development also can be used as training as well. It can be used in the varied work experience. So different before, when they want to provide the development to the employees, they need to understand and also to identify that different function, different products with different markets needs a different knowledge and skills. They normally in the development they can have a mentor to help managers to how they can contribute to the development and gain from the work experience. Varied of work experience. Doing different job. Normally can give managers a different job to complete. So they can understand and have can complete a variety of functions. Or maybe focus on different type of markets. Or development can through the formal education. Formal education that maybe pay or reimburse employees to obtain the advanced degrees, or to go to the college to the courses from the formal education. But all the tuition fees are paid by the formal education, by the organisation. So training, do the needs assessment for training and development. Training either need a classroom instruction, or is it on the job training, and the latest one is that through the apprenticeship. Either on the job or in the classroom setting. For development, also can have a classroom instruction and on the job training. Develop the employees through the on the job training, or which provide the varied work experience, or through the formal education. So they need to do, managers need to do the needs assessment. So the next component is the performance appraisal and feedback. Okay, so performance appraisal evaluation is the evaluation of the employees' job performance and their contribution to the organization. Okay, so that is a performance appraisal. Feedback is that the process managers share their appraisal information with their subordinates. Okay, so that is a feedback, giving the feedback. And the feedbacks ni can help employees to identify their weaknesses or their strengths and help them to how they can improve the way for them to complete their job. And also they can encourage employees to motivate and help them to increase their performance when the managers provide the feedbacks. Okay. Feedbacks ni should give to all employees, either they have a good or poor performance. Okay. Okay, there are types of performance appraisal. Okay, either on the traits appraisal, behaviors appraisals, or results appraisal. Okay, traits appraisal ni appraisals that use to assess subordinates on the personal characteristic that a managers feel relevant to the job performance, such as based on the skill relevant to the skills, abilities, on personality. But not all job or tasks need to have the traits appraisal. Okay, disadvantages of trait appraisal ni, okay, of course, how the managers need to identify the traits ni have a direct association with the performance. Okay, workers might see this is unfair and potentially discriminate okay, towards them. Then also that not necessary if the employees possess some certain traits, okay, can ensure that they are able to perform better compared to others. Okay, so by having that traits, they will perform better. There's no evidence about that. Okay, and also that using the traits, by doing the traits appraisals ni, normally managers will not provide the feedbacks, okay, because it's based on the personal traits, personal characteristic. Okay, behavior appraisals, okay, manager assess how workers perform their jobs, okay, the actual action, actually how they perform the jobs and their behavior towards that job. Okay, this behavior appraisals ni are useful ni when how the workers perform the job is important. Okay, how they maybe based, I'm not sure what type of ni, but if how they complete the job is important, then maybe behavior appraisals is relevant. Okay, and also that by having the behavior appraisals ni, maybe you can managers can provide the employees with a clear information about what are they doing right and wrong, and how they can improve their performance. Okay, results appraisals, okay, based on the result, managers appraise the performance in terms of results or the actual outcomes, based on the outcomes. Okay, maybe based on numbers of profit increase, number of product sales, number of unit sales, okay, based on the result, or number of less defects products is better performance, okay, based on the result. Okay, appraisals can be have objective and subjective appraisal. Okay, it based from the jobs lah, either you need objective and subjective. Objective appraisals ni normally based on facts and also likely a numerical, based on numbers. Managers okay, are used based on when objective performance ni normally results punya appraisal. Okay, so results appraisal is normally objective. Okay, subjective traits, behavior and sometimes maybe results lah. Okay, traits, behavior is a subjective appraisal. Okay, based on the perception. Okay, and there are more possibility or chances that this kind of appraisal is inaccurate. Okay. Okay, so who appraises the performance? Okay, so normally supervisor lah. When normally we know that supervisors, okay, as appraisers of performance. Okay, but can be others as well. Okay, can be from other sources. Okay, supervisors or self appraisers or peer appraisers, or sometimes by the customer or employees can be appraisers to the manager's performance. Okay, self appraisers ni employee assess their own performance. Okay, ask them to assess their own performance, or using if you are work in groups, then you can use a peer or teamworks. You can use a peer appraisals. Okay, sometimes the customer can provide appraisals to the employees, like you assess my teaching methods. Okay, the way of my teaching, the teaching and learning. Okay, you have to assess me, so that is a customer appraisals. Okay, and also that my boss will assess me. Okay, that is my supervisor. Okay, or employees assess their managers. Okay, so the managers, how about the managers, and now you have a 360-degree appraisal, which is the performance is appraised by all component. Okay, by peers, subordinates, superiors, and sometimes by the client. Okay, and also that by managers. Okay, so then managers evaluate all from these sources. Okay, so research, based on the research ni, 360-degree appraisals ni, it should be focused more on the behaviors than the traits or result. Okay, right, so focus more on the behavior. And also that managers need to select appropriate appraisers. Okay, so be careful with the appraisers. Okay, so we don't want that will affect negatively. We want objectively appraisers. Managers also need to think that is it necessary to do 360-degree for the certain job. Okay, might be some jobs no need a 360-degree appraisal. Okay, certain job can have a 360-degree appraisal, right? Okay, effective performance feedback ni for the performance appraisal feedback to motivate or to encourage the high performance, they must make sure that the feedbacks ni more effective. They can share more effectively lah. Okay, either they can use a formal appraisals. Okay, which is conduct a certain set, and maybe at the end of the year or in the middle of the year. Okay, and base some dimension, you have a dimension, provide the dimension. Okay, and then what you want to measure ni, you have to inform in advance to your employees. Okay, right? But sometimes some organization, they have an informal continuously. Okay, unscheduled. Okay, ongoing process. Give a feedback to the subordinates which area that need to improve. Okay, so some large organization might have an informal and formal appraisal. Okay, informal is from time to time, and at the end of the year they will do the formal appraisals. Okay, so this is a guideline, just a guideline for effective giving the performance feedback. Okay, of course, be specific and focus on behavior or outcomes that are correctable and within a worker's ability to improve. Okay, approach the performance appraisal as an exercise in the problem solving and solution finding, not just to criticize. Okay, the subordinate. express the confidence in the subordinate abilities to improve. Okay, we know that when we give them the feedback, they are able to improve. Provide the performance feedback both formally and informally. Praise instance of the high performance and areas of a job in which a worker excels. Avoid the personal criticism and treat the subordinates with the respect. Okay, don't focus more on the personal problems. Okay, agree to a timetable for performance improvements. Alright, so next is pay and benefits. Next component is pay and benefits. Okay, so pay is what employees get: base salary, pay rises, bonus. So that is considered a pay. Okay, it will the pay ni will determined by a few factors. Okay, either by the characteristics of organization, the job and the levels of performance. Okay, the job means at the same position, let's say engineer, but in the large organization might have maybe more pay, more salary compared to the small organization. Okay, so that will determine the salary. Okay, size of the organization, characteristic of the organization. Okay, so that is a pay, and also the levels of performance. Engineer maybe the same position engineer, but one is better performer compared to the other employees, and maybe get more salary compared to the others. And the benefits normally based on the membership in that particular organization. Okay, included the benefits. Example is that paid leave. Okay, paid leave, holidays. Okay, you can have company holidays, or medical, covered by medical, and also they have insurance. Okay, so that is a benefits in organisation. Pay levels ni, we say it's abroad. Okay, based on the organisation, based from the job. Okay, maybe different industry, different name might have a different pay level. Okay, so but if company pay for low wages, maybe the probability that company can have lower cost lah. Okay, they pay low wages, low salary, but however maybe they will that the turnover rate among the employee might be high. Okay, but if they pay more, better, higher salary, then maybe the workers are willing to perform better. Okay, so the salary also will determine the level of performance. Okay, so that managers need to prepare to take all the consider when they want to determine the pay level. Okay, pay structure. Okay, the pay structure, they have different jobs, different level have a different salary. Okay, have a cluster based on the cluster of job. Large organisation, small organisation, higher CEO have a more salary compared to manager, compared to the supervisor, compared to the low level salary. Okay, so that is a pay structure. Benefit, that normally organisation now legally to provide benefits to their employees. Okay, to provide the workers compensation. Okay, SOCSO, okay, social security, and also insurance. Okay, to the employees. Okay, so that is a legally. Voluntary insurance. Okay, they provide a daycare, that is voluntary. A large organisation might provide a daycare compared to the small one. Now government agency also provide the daycare, or based on the retirement for the employees. Okay, some organisation, large organisation, we provide offer a cafeteria style benefit plan. Okay, so that employees can choose the benefit that they want. Maybe limit to 3 or type of 3 to 4 benefit. They have a list of benefits, so that then employees can select which benefit that they want during the time at that organisation. So that is what we call a cafeteria style benefits. Next is the labor relations. Okay, labor relations is the activity that managers engage to ensure that they have a working relationship with the unions and that represent their employees' interests. Okay, labor unions will represent their employees' interest. Okay, present their employees. So that they must have the relationship with these unions. Okay, so labor unions, if managers have a good relationship with labor unions, normally they have less problems with the unions. Okay, so unions is the unions or group of workers will represent the workers' interest, okay, in the organization. They have to make sure this union normally make sure that the workers or employees' interests are fairly represented or fairly provided by the organization. Okay, so that they manage. I mean that actually for the pay level too, it's not easy. Not organization cannot just say we want to put here. That's why now we have a minimum wage. Okay, so certain only at certain level there is a minimum wage there. In Malaysia is 1,005. They cannot be lower than that. Okay. That is determined by the agreement between the unions, okay, and also that the organization. Collective bargaining is the negotiation between the labor and the managers to resolve all the conflict or disputes about the issues, okay, about the working hours, wages, benefit, working condition, and about the job security. Okay. Once agreement that union members support reach, okay, union leaders and managers will sign a contract, okay, and spell out all the terms into that agreements. Okay, there is a bargain. Okay, the bargain between the unions and managers. Okay, so that's all for the this human resource. Okay. This topic. Okay, so I hope we will meet again next week. Okay, have a nice day everyone. Assalamualaikum.